What's up, y'all? Welcome to Zenish on YouTube. We are reading today for money. The title of this reading is Straight Up Money. And if you're following along on the Patreon, we've been talking about how money's really loud right now. I feel like money's always pretty loud, but lately in the salon and in community and in my family and in my circle of friends, I feel like every day somebody calls and wants to talk about money. So I thought it couldn't hurt to see what comes up in the cards around money. I'm gonna do this in like a pick a pile vibe, except I don't know that I'm going to separate it into individual piles. I'm looking for 3 individual messages, but I'm going to let them kind of blend together. Bahati Life, I'm subscribed to her Bahati Love Notes, where she does readings regularly, and that's how her pick-a-cards have been, and I really like that. There's more flow to it. So take what resonates, leave the rest. We're going to set the intention to receive what is meant for us today, for clear, concise messaging, and only messages of love and light to be welcome in this space. So take a moment, bring your hand to your heart, take a deep breath into the center of your chest, and feel yourself grounding into the present moment. Create space in your energy and in your body. Maybe focusing your breath on your lower chakras, particularly your root, which is the chakra of resources, of grounding. And we'll see what comes up. I am using, if you're following along on Patreon, I talked in one of our mindful moments about cleaning my cards, my collection, and cleansing them and organizing them and putting a few of them away because I have so much happening on my deck right now, and I feel like some of these have kind of served their purpose. And I had put this deck away and was having a moment to myself a few days ago and thinking about how I wish there was a deck of cards that portrayed modern life well, particularly like technology. And I'm like, I need to pull this deck back out. I had put it away because I love how it does tie in modern life with technology in this deck. So this is a Modern Witch Tarot deck, and you can find it in the Linktree shop in the show notes below. So what is our first message in regards to our resources and money? Asking for clear, concise messaging. Six of Wands, Knight of Wands. So the wands are the element of fire. Knights are a particular kind of embodiment of the element present, which is fire. And the Six of Wands is a card of celebration. King of Pentacles. Pentacles is the element of earth. Again, the suit cards are embodiments of the energy present. And Lindsay Mack from Tarot Over the Wild Soul talks about how the pages are the compass, the knights are the current, the queens are the cave, and the kings are, I forget exactly which word she uses. I'll have to look it up again. I'll link this particular episode in the comments. But the kings are action and service. So in this reading, there's movement happening. I almost feel like whatever it is you're doing right now in regards to your resources, it seems like you're at like a point. And with the Six of Wands here and with the Knight of Wands here, I feel like the message is to keep doing what you're doing. I almost see everything like bottlenecking, like getting a little tight and constricted, and then, you know, moving up and out. I feel as if this is a message of encouragement, of validation that what you're doing is working, that you're trusting. I see the High Priestess in this reading as you taking the time to be intentional about your resources and learning, and being able to decipher the noise from what is actually helpful for you and constructive for you. Let's clarify the energy of the High Priestess in this reading. We also have this card right here, which is unique to this deck. It says, you are a badass being full of love, of life, and possibilities. Through this deck, may you find a path to your best self. And I feel with the cards that are present, you are absolutely aligned with your best self. Nine of Wands, Ten of Swords, and clarifying the High Priestess. Nine of Wands in reverse, Ten of Swords. I kind of love this energy because Nine of Wands, with the 9 and 10s, it's something completing itself, something coming to a head. And I feel like with the 10 of Swords here, and this is one of the cards I love because her cell phone, when this card comes up, especially right now, I feel as if it's kind of numbing out in technology and not being present and replaying. I see some of you watching people on the internet who maybe have served their purpose and it's time to graduate from their content, and you keep circling back because it's what you're used to and what you're comfortable with. And with the High Priestess here, I see her more of tuning into her internal compass. I see her as creating, and with the swords here, I feel like you're taking the knowledge that you have and creating something that works for you based on all of the resources that you've had in the past. And then we have Four of Swords, which I was just about to say. I feel like you're moving past this point of being paralyzed and not being able to move because of doubt or uncertainty or fear or anxiety, not wanting to make choices from yourself. My God, Nine of Swords too. This feels like some of you being roped right. It feels, and this is what I'm feeling in the energy right now, and we have 10 of Pentacles on the bottom, which I think is very important to acknowledge. I feel like so many of you really are in a good place. It's not perfect, but it's good. And right now in the current energy, we're circling back to feelings of restlessness and anxiety and constriction. And if we keep learning, keep applying the knowledge that we acquire, really tuning into our internal compass and being mindful of who we are taking advice from or learning from, that we're in 10 of Pentacles energy, which is so good. 10 of Pentacles is wealth, it's inheritance, it's stability, it's family, it's just this sense of having everything we need, having our shit together, a very completed, resourceful place. But I feel like there's these waves of concern about ending up back where we came from and feeling a sense of doubt. So what is the advice here in this reading? We have Two of Swords, we have Three of Swords, and we have Page of Pentacles. Two of Swords. These are clarifiers. Particularly for the Two of Swords. I feel like the High Priestess here and the Five of Pentacles she feels really clear to me. This energy represents Taurus, which is an earth sign. And this is feeling like with the Two of Swords here, not getting lost in the old story. This also feels, the Two of Swords here, like protection against unwanted advice and opinions. I feel like some of you are looking entirely too much to other people to think for you, which could also be part of why the Hierophant's here. I feel like the Hierophant can both be a really good teacher, and also we can give our power away to figures that are like the Hierophant, and stop being able to think for ourselves and make decisions for ourselves and looking outside of our... And this isn't to say that you shouldn't take advice or you should be a lone wolf. I find for myself, when I'm having to make a really big choice, I'm kind of in this season right now, I'm wanting someone else to decide for me so that I don't have to be responsible for the outcome of whatever choice I make. And I feel like this is saying, like, stop doing that. Be mindful of who you talk to and what advice you get, what you read, where the knowledge and wisdom comes from. And the Page of Pentacles right here feels like you have to decide and you have to move. Be grounded in whatever choice you make, and also recognize that you're still a student in this life, in this existence, in this plane. And don't let your fear of the unknown or being paralyzed by the fear of fucking up keep you from moving. And again, going back to the start of this reading, with the King of Pentacles, the Six of Wands, and the Knight of Wands here, I feel like you're on the right track, that you're just in a moment of constriction, and those moments teach us about how far we've come and ask us to apply what we learned to keep ourselves from shutting down, to maintain space in our energy body, to receive, and to not be so consumed with doubt and insecurity and uncertainty that we're unable to move. So let's move on to message number 2, and I want to leave the foundation of message number 1 up. How is this feeling for you? For more readings like this, you can subscribe to the Patreon. There's good stuff over there. Check us out on Spotify, where I post at least a monthly, basically like an energy forecast. And then on Patreon, we have weekly readings and meditations and energy work and monthly meetups, both in person and online. So our second message on money, on resources. Okay. 5 of Cups and 3 of Swords. A sense of loss. I'm hearing spilling the tea. This almost feels like you said too much. Ace of Pentacles and 4 of Pentacles. This is feeling emotional. But then we have the 4 of Pentacles and the Ace of Pentacles here. I am feeling like for this group, I'm feeling like the Three of Swords and the Four of Pentacles here is protection. And I feel like it's definitely the appropriate amount of protection. I'm just going to say this feels like a relationship reading. This feels like conserving your energy, conserving your resources, being very mindful. The 4 here also makes me think of stability, and I don't feel like she's holding on too tight. She seems very confident, like there isn't too much fear here. But with the Ace of Pentacles and 5 of Cups here, I feel like something that looked very, very enticing and felt extremely aligned did not work out. But I'm also feeling like this thing is not a bad thing. Like you're still where you're supposed to be. And to stop focusing on the spilled tea and pay attention to what's still left, because the spilled tea is the distraction and like what wasn't working out, almost as if it was divinely fucked. And I see you looking down at this spilled tea and learning something. I don't feel like this person who's facing the spilled cups is wrong for paying attention to the spilled tea. I think there's something to be learned here to help grow something else. And I'm seeing to be really mindful with your resources right now. This doesn't feel like a time to invest heavily. It feels like take inventory of what you have and what you can still work with, and get clear on your vision of where you're going, and to not lose sight of the goal due to this 3 of Swords spilled tea situation. I also feel like this might have to do with gossip or taking bad advice. Let's see, a little clarity around the 3 of Swords here. I just saw the Tower. The Emperor. 10 of Cups. I feel like you put a lot of eggs in this basket. But I also feel with the Emperor and the 10 of Cups here that this is salvageable. And whenever I see the Empire, I think of like building an empire, of being so determined for something to work out, like you're going to give up at nothing. And I feel like that's what you should be channeling right now, because I still feel that this is good. And we have the 10 of Wands and the Star, and the Star is Aquarian energy. I feel like this is about getting really creative too. I feel like it is keep working, keep moving. Think outside of the box. How you make your way through whatever the situation is going to breathe new life, like new life. I feel this project being very open, very easy, not something you have to, like you're getting it to the point where you don't have to work too hard. You can just enjoy and be in community and giving back in a way that makes you feel really good. All right. Again, we're going to leave the core of this reading here on the table. Remember to take what resonates. Feel free to share with people you love who you might feel this message could resonate with. And let's read it into our last message on money. I'm already feeling like somebody is beating themselves up about something. Being really hard on yourself, I'm getting. Sorry, my method of shuffling is a little bit unconventional sometimes, especially with really thick cards like these. Five of Pentacles, we're back with the Five of Pentacles. Nine of Wands. Queen of Wands in reverse. It's a lot of tension. Like I said, beating yourself up. I'm feeling like not playing nice, like feeling resentful and angry, which is confirmed by the Two of Swords and the Seven of Swords. The Two of Wands here feels like, in this reading, like shifting blame, not taking responsibility for where you are, being consumed by the story of it never works out for me, I don't have enough. Very stubborn. And if you want your money narrative to change, you have got to be willing to take responsibility. I was thinking about this today when I was driving home, how when I get to magical thinking when it comes to money and just continuing to spend and just saying it's just going to work out, the money's just going to appear, that's a no, because numbers don't lie. And if you can't take responsibility for how you got to where you are, for better or worse, especially for worse, you're going to have a really hard time changing your circumstances. And with the Magician and the Hanged one here, this is taking inventory. This is like, what life do you want to create? What do you want? If you are perpetually blame shifting and refusing to take responsibility for where you are, and this doesn't mean beating yourself up. This just means getting really clear on what it is you want and taking inventory of whether or not you're actually doing what you need to get there. Or are you so overwhelmed you're just frozen? In the Chariot, which is the sign of Cancer in astrology. Let's read what this deck says about the Chariot. The little book's really cute. She rules everything around her. The Chariot rides in on a silver gleaming motorcycle ready for battle. She's got her leather armor to protect her. Her crown points toward the sky, and she's connected to nature, to her emotions, and to the stable ground beneath her. The Chariot has worked hard to balance everything in her life perfectly. Everything is in its right place and under her control. Victory might not be easy, but she'll win in the end. It's time to be a boss and get shit done. Metaphorically or literally. Put on your most badass leather jacket and toughest boots and get ready to fight. Fight for yourself. Don't give up. Don't let anyone run you off the road. It's probably going to take a bit of force and mental energy, but you're confident, you're powerful, you're prepared for this. Victory is yours. And I feel that. I feel like for some of you, you are really lost in the victim mentality. Where you won't take responsibility for it. You're blaming everyone else for your circumstances. And some of you are just plain old beating yourself up. And neither one of these energies are productive. 10 of Wands, the Hermit, and the Moon underneath. So create space. Take some workshops on healing the money wound. Get into some energy work to help move stagnant energy, especially through your lower chakras. And see what comes up. There's no hiding from this or avoiding this anymore. Shut out the noise. Start journaling around money. Get some cards around money, or use what you have to start really focusing on your money narrative and your money story. And get clear. I really like the Magician and the Hanged Man here. It's not a time of, like, the action that you need to take is to take inventory, but it's not a very forward momentum. It's like being really present in this moment and getting clear on what's working and what isn't working anymore. I hope these messages are helpful. I'll post a few links to some of my favorite money episodes and books. I'm making notes right now. Books, pods, and I'll send some of my favorite rituals too. I love you guys. I hope that you enjoyed this reading. Check out the shop in the link below to see these cards and what other cards I'm using. As far as money goes, I also have an Abraham Hicks deck that's also linked in the link tree. Love you guys. Peace.